Hello, everybody, and welcome. So nice to see so many people who are joining us this morning from, for so many different places. I recognize some names and recognize the states that they are in, the countries that they are in. So welcome, everybody to Ask Doc Live. So excited to have you here with us. Now, my name is Rebecca Kozak, and I will be your host for the next 2 hours as we bring some amazing information to you in regards to things that you're not going to hear when you go to your doctor's office in most cases. So I just want to make sure that if you are here and you have questions that you would like to ask Dr. Wallach himself, make sure that you raise your hand. So thank you, Jane, for getting your hand up early. And to find the raise your hand option, if you go to your Zoom menu, for those of you who are on with us with a video, computer, mobile device, other than call in, then you will find that either under reactions, that's probably where you'll find it, under reactions. So, and click raise your hand, and then we will get to your hand in the order that it was received. We also have some questions that have been emailed to us through our website, askdoclive.com, using the contact us, or from our newsletter as a reply to our newsletter. So we just love and appreciate all of our subscribers and everybody that joins us and is part of this crusade, as we are making a massive impact in helping people just elevate their health. So I just am so excited to be here with you. I have my co-hosts who will be running information through the chat. So if you're on with us live, go ahead and make sure you have that chat turned on so you can read the information that they will be sharing in the chat, which will go over the products as Dr. Wallach is talking about them, so that you can see how they're spelled and get an idea of where to go to get the information that you need for getting the products that you would like to. Now, make sure that if you are a guest on with us, make sure that you get with the person that invited you to this program. They cared enough to invite you to this program so that you could hear information firsthand and ask your questions from Dr. Wallach. So please make sure that you get back with them if you have any questions about products or how to get products. So that's whether you're here on live with us or watching the replay, get back with the person that shared this program with you. Now, I do have to say that the FDA requires us to let you know that our products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any diseases, and this program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. But we share a message of something that you will not hear in mainstream medical industry. And the good news is the genetic theory has been proven incorrect through the science of epigenetics. Epigenetics is the study of how our personal behaviors in our environment, what we expose ourselves to, can cause changes that affect the way our genes work. So with epigenetics, you are an empowered individual. You have control over how your body is going to react tomorrow. And the great thing about it, because our bodies were so amazingly designed, what we put into our bodies now, and that's different from what we've done in the past, is just going to change the way our cells are working and our genes are working and determine what our health is. So I can't think of a better person to have with us than one of the founding fathers of epigenetics, here to guide us in letting us know exactly what we can do to have optimal health. And that amazing gentleman is Dr. Joel Wallach. Dr. Wallach, thank you so very much for taking time out of your busy schedule every single week to be here with us. We just love and appreciate you. And what great news do you have to share with us today?
Well, the great news is, there's a future. Okay, that's the great news is we have a future. And this is why the books of, let's see here, epigenetics and Hell's Kitchen are going out the door like crazy. Okay, because there you go. Yeah, those two cover the deal, so to speak. Okay. Hell's Kitchen was actually named after a area in New York City where everything went wrong. Okay, and they called it Hell's Kitchen in New York because everything went wrong in that place in New York. I mean, we're talking about every kind of crime you can think of, every kind of disease you can think of, every kind of financial disaster you can think of happened in Hell's Kitchen in New York City. And so he said, well, that's the perfect title for this book because it goes into all the calamities that people put themselves into. You heard what I said, that people put themselves into. We're going to talk about that in some detail here. So let's start out. Thank you for holding those up. And Hell's Kitchen, of course, and epigenetics came from a $25 million grant from NIH. They're the results of an autopsy program where I did 20,000 autopsies, okay, and on that one program. And those two books are the big part of what I found, okay? And so we're going to get into that today. Well, let's start out with yesterday's closing figures. All right, because we're only one day left, or not even half a day left in the year, so to speak. And so let's look at our figures from yesterday as of 4:30 p.m. Excuse me. At that time, there were 55,209,364 cases of COVID in the United States, USA, and there were 845,673 dead. Okay. Now, California had 19,867 new cases. Texas had 15,508 new cases. Florida had 58,013 new cases. Florida, whoo. New York had 70,444 new cases. Illinois had 30,386 new cases. Pennsylvania had 19,436 new cases. Ohio had 19,774 new cases. Georgia had 24,420 new cases. Excuse me. North Carolina had 18,571 new cases. New Jersey had 35,175 new cases, and Massachusetts had 22,056. All the rest of the states had 3,000, 8,000, 10,000, 12,000. And I didn't have to go through all 50, but everybody's case load for COVID really skyrocketed yesterday. Okay. And the new cases in the United States, of those 55 million, the new cases yesterday, just the new cases yesterday totally were 528,997, just about 530,000. New deaths were only 1,290. So that tells you that most of those cases were the Omicron because they're highly infectious. They infect so many people, but they don't kill so many people as the Delta variant. Okay. So I would just bet the dinner in London that that most of those infections, the new infections, were the Omicron variant. Okay. Now, when you subtract 675,000, which are the numbers of people who died during the 2 years of the excuse me, of the let's see here, of the Asian flu back in let's see here, 1918, 1920. Okay. Oh, the Spanish flu, 675,000. Subtract that from 845, 673. You get 170,673 more cases we've had in the same period of time. We had 170,673 more cases of death. These are the death figures than they had in 1918 and 1919 with the Spanish flu. Now, we're supposed to have the greatest medical system in the world, but the numbers don't bear out that claim. Okay, the doctors can stand on autopsy table and beat their chest how wonderful we are. but believe me, there's a problem here. Okay, and so let's keep looking, and we'll go to let's see here. Let's go to a thing where 400% increase in COVID in kids under the age of 18. This is just 2-day-old information. 400% increase in COVID cases in kids under the age of 18. Okay, so that tells me that it's probably the Omicron. France were screaming that they had 100,000 new cases for the first time during this whole process in the past 2 years. 100,000 cases in one day. Okay. And so this is going on and on and on and on, despite the vaccinations. And, 85% of people in most European countries, in the United States, are vaccinated for the bug, okay, the virus. But it's one of those things where, and I've said this a million times if I've said it once, that the vaccinations are only a small part of the deal. Fauci left out the most important pieces, okay? First of all, the vaccine doesn't kill viruses, bacteria, fungus, or yeast. There are no vaccines that kill bacteria, fungus, or yeast. There are no vaccines for any disease that kill the bug, okay? The reason why we had such a success with the smallpox vaccination in 1795 from Edward Jenner, I mean, it was successful. I mean, it just shut it off like it switched off everything. It's totally different than today. Well, why is that? Well, back then, we didn't have electricity. Electricity indirectly has killed more people than all the wars put together, and here's why. When we were using wood for fuel for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years, we would put the wood ashes, which were 98% minerals and only 2 or 3% carbon, into the gardens, and they were the fertilizer for the vegetables and stuff in the garden. And we would eat those vegetables and we get the minerals that way. Also, we didn't have electricity in our house on the farm until I was 9 years old, and grandma was always putting the wood ashes into our food, into our mashed potatoes and soup and that kind of stuff. And so we were getting the minerals that way. But once we went to electricity, the mineral source we'd had for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years was shut off. Okay, no more minerals. When people would go to doctors and say, shouldn't I be taking some vitamins or minerals or something? They're advertising them on the radio and the newspapers and magazines, and I'm feeling really funky here. Should I take some vitamins, minerals? And the doctor says, no, don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Just eat well, eat your 4 food groups, take your 7 food group pyramid, you'll get everything you need. Every doctor who said that should be put in jail as a mass murderer, okay? Because it is not true. You cannot get everything you need just by eating well. It's absolutely a bald-faced, I have to say, a lie, because we've known that for a long time. Then also, we have the problem here, again, of absorption. That's the second piece, okay? When you're still eating gluten, oatmeal for breakfast every morning, you're eating spaghetti for dinner every night, you're having flour tortillas, and the gluten damages your intestines. It kills the villi, the little finger-like projections that make your intestine, when you open it up at surgery and autopsy, it looks like a shag rug. When you open it up and it looks like a plastic tube, there's no villi, okay, no finger-like villi. You've lost 90% of your absorptive surface, and you don't even know, ask another question, because you know they've been eating gluten, killing those villi. And then you have to supplement with the 90 essential nutrients, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 fatty acids. And that gives your body what it needs to maintain itself. It's needed by every cell, every tissue, every organ in the body. Okay, those 90 essential nutrients. And I don't think Fauci knows anything about that. Okay, if he does, then he should be held for all these murders. Okay, this is really, really a sick system, because the food we were eating was doing us grave damage. And in the beginning, when people lived to be 35, 40, 50 years old, everybody was happy. Well, when you look at the biblical characters, even Methuselah lived to be 969. Methuselah lived to be 969, and so many biblical characters lived to be 300, 500, 700, 800, 900. And this is all in the Bible, so you have to believe it. And it's one of those things, well, this has been taken away from us, okay? Also, our behavior is affected by this. When people wake up in the morning, they're angry and frustrated, and I got to get out of here. I just can't stand it in the house anymore, blah, 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 blah. And the first thing they do is they're yelling at each other and shouting and so on. That's because there's not enough oxygen in the house. Well, plants break down carbon dioxide into oxygen and carbon chains, but they require 3 things to do that. Now, they teach you 2 things in school. They teach you 2 things in medical school. They teach you 2 things in high school. They teach you 2 things, okay? That you need sunlight, true. That's why you find so much oxygen in plants in the water, in shallow water, because the sunlight gets through it, okay, to the algae and the seaweed and so forth in the shallow water. And then you also need chlorophyll. Well, that's why green plants are so important, because when the sunlight hits the green plants, they break down carbon dioxide into oxygen and into into carbon chains. And the plant will make, here's an example. You've all heard of sequoia trees in California. Those things are 30, 40, 50 feet in diameter. They're 300 foot tall. They weigh 15, 20 tons. Okay. Where did all that wood come from? All that wood came from the carbon dioxide that was broken down by the leaves and the top of that sequoia tree. And so those carbon chains were converted into the sequoia's wood. That's where all that wood came from. Okay. People don't even think about that. Well, there's one other piece that's necessary for that process to take place. Sunlight is required. Okay. Chlorophyll is required, but also there's 20 nutrients required. I had to look, it took me 6 months to find the original paper and author of the person who realized that. We're talking many, many years ago, and requires the 20 nutrients for the biochemical process of photosynthesis to take place. You can have all the sunlight you want. You can have all the carbon dioxide you want. You can have all the chlorophyll. But if you don't have those 20 nutrients, as they say in France, there ain't nothing happening. So you have to pay attention to all those details. Then, and that's why it was so successful for smallpox in Edward Jenner, was because we were still using wood ashes for fuel. And we had those 20 nutrients, and that's why it worked just like almost overnight. And then some viruses, like polio virus, it's a very simple virus, and it's very easy to bring under control. But and so you don't hear anything about polio anymore, because it's a very simple virus. It's not the killer. It would disable kids physically, but it wasn't a killer like the COVID-19. Then the metabolic syndrome is something I'll have to pay attention to. The metabolic syndrome has to do with, again, gluten. You're not able to absorb nutrients, and so you have obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, kidney failure, liver failure, all that kind of stuff. And you have what should I say, you're set up for, if you get the COVID and you have the metabolic syndrome, you're set up for a bad outcome. Okay. Little kids, when they would get the COVID 2 years ago, they had 2 or 3 days of common cold-like symptoms, and then it was over with. Okay, because they were getting their baby vitamins and minerals, their little droppers full of baby vitamins and minerals. But once they started going to school and kindergarten, okay, you're a big boy now, Frankie. Okay, you don't need your vitamins and minerals anymore. You're going to eat like big boy. Okay, and they took away the vitamins and minerals. And so once they got to be teenagers, suddenly now they were starting to have problems from the metabolic syndrome, because they weren't getting the nutrients to deal with the carbon dioxide. Now, I want everybody to remember our kids' toddy for babies that are being fed formula, Enfamil, Similac, and that kind of thing. Milk replacers, goat's milk. You put the dosage for body weights on the back label of the product. Okay. Kids' toddy tastes good. Kids love it. They also need the cherry mints to make sure they're getting all those minerals. Then they also need the EFAs so that they don't get blood clots and stuff like that. And this, the soft capsules, soft gel capsules with the EFAs and EFA pluses in them, go by body weight. And we can help these kids, but right now, again, there's a 400% increase a 400% increase in new cases in kids, okay, because we're not paying attention to those details. All right. Now I want to do one more thing here.
Dr. Wallach, before you get
Yes.
off that subject, so share with us, we have the kids toddy, and we have the kids sprinkles. So of course we have the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, all of
We
them
have the
are
rebound. We have the
vitamins
rebound.
and the rebound. So share with us what ages, like the kids sprinkles would be appropriate for, the kids toddy would be appropriate for. Is it going by age or is it going by weight?
Okay, well, it goes by diet. Okay. Okay, if they're eating a big boy diet, then they can have all the grown-up stuff. But if they're eating Infamil, Similac, or goat's milk or something like that, they're a milk replacer, then they need the kids toddy. Okay, because a 3-month-old baby is not going to eat the healthy brain and heart pack. Okay, it's just too many pills and tablets and capsules and things. So it's a practical term of age and diet. Okay, that's a good question.
Yeah, so if they're eating regular food and they're able to drink regular stuff like adults, then they can do the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and the OsteoFX, or would we still keep them on something more of a
it depends on the kid. We have everything based on how they're eating and what they're eating and so forth, and what's available in the stores and so on. And so I'm not going to make a dry thing. Every parent's got to make, if the kid loves the kids toddy and the cherry mints and the EFAs, go that direction, even if they're 12. Okay, if they're not going to take all those pills, they just throw them on the floor and say no, then you got to go with what they'll take. And so I'm not saying, well, you got to strangle your kid into taking the pills, but you give them what they will take. But we have it for little bitty kids and we have it for teenagers. But remember, there's 400% increase in new cases, 400% increase in new cases under the age of 18. So this is going crazy. All right. And that's all I can say is going crazy. And then we do have the new CDs will be available on Monday. Health Crisis in the Church and Health Crisis in the Church in America. That's a 2 Zooms I did with Raymond and Yolanda Brown in Texas. And this information was so good, we decided to take the soundtrack off and make them into CDs, which are more usable by more people. They can do that while they're driving and stuff. And so I really urge you to give those to everybody, the Health Crisis in the Church and Health Crisis in the Church in America. That's a 2 CD set. And don't forget the one that Linda Tyler and Pastor Mike Freeman and I did, Praise the Lord and Pass the 90. Everybody in the military will appreciate that because we always say, praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. And so you understand that if you've been in the military. Okay. And then don't forget the process, okay, of what should I say, the diet. You got to stay away from the bad foods in the diet. Okay, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten. You can't say, well, it's Friday night, I'll just do this 1 meal a week. Okay, well, that's kind of like killing yourself with a knife, one finger at a time. But eventually you're going to get to the point where all your fingers are gone and you stab yourself in the chest and you're dead. Okay, and so you really, really have to be on this. This is a killer bug, and there's new variants coming all the time. There's only 3 variants before we hit the Delta variant. For the first 2 variants, the Delta variant of COVID was not a killer. The third one turned into be a killer. The Omicron variants, there's 30 mutations. Not one of them yet has been a serious killer, but very, very serious infections. Okay, very high infection rate, but very low death rate. So when the 31st mutation comes along, is it going to convert to a killer? We don't know that. We don't know what's going to happen here. And so pay attention, and you can protect yourself. You can protect the people you love and so on, but it's going to take a little bit of effort on your part to do that. Now, before I get to the alcohol thing, I'm going to do one more little bit here. We'll take our Are we going to take a 2-minute break at the bottom of the hour? Are we or not?
If you need a 2-minute break at the bottom of the hour, we can take a 2-minute break, but usually we
No.
don't take it till the top. So
Okay, good. I just want to know what the plan was here. Okay, so right now, and this is very scary stuff. This came out almost exactly a month ago. This is from the Center for Disease Control, our government agency that tracks this stuff. Okay, and you've heard me say this many times in this last month, but I'll say it again because it's very important. The number one, now remember, this is the CDC. This isn't me. I'm just reporting what the Center for Disease Control said. The number one killer in American hospitals each year on the average is heart disease, 611,405 dead from heart disease each year in American hospitals. Now, they go into the hospital registered for heart disease, but is that what killed them? Did they die from, during surgery on the table? Did they die from an infection there? They don't tell you that. The number two cause of death in American hospitals is cancer. They enter into the hospital for cancer treatment, 584,881. Did they all die from cancer in the hospital? Probably not, but a percentage of them will have died from complications of infections or death on the surgery table and so forth. But the number three cause of death in American hospitals each year, now remember, this is the Center for Disease Control, not me, is 250,000 each year on the average is medical errors, doctor errors. Doctors have killed 250,000 of their patients each year in hospitals as a result of errors. Now, they also had a little italics thing underneath that. And remember, this is the CDC again, not me. They said only 10% of medical errors that occurred in the hospital were reported and taken into account. So if 250,000 is only 10%, okay, you're talking about 2.5 million medical errors in the hospital. All right. And the ones that they're blaming on the number three cause of death in America is 250,000. So this is very scary stuff here. And so do you really want to go to a hospital for a vacation? Do you really want to go to a hospital for things that you can do yourself? Do you really want to go to the hospital for things you can do with your doctor and yourself outside the hospital? Okay, just because you have good insurance, they're going to feed you gluten in the hospital. That's all you get for breakfast, lunch, and dinner is gluten. Okay. And so, oh, and many of them won't let you can't take vitamins and minerals in a hospital here. You just have to take what the doctor writes a prescription for. And that sets you up for a bad outcome. It's really, really crazy. How many professions, how many businesses could kill 250,000 of their customers in their workplace every year and still be in business? None. And so I'm pointing this out because I just love my doctor. Well, just kind of look back and see how many of your family died in the hospital and see if your doctor was the cause of their death. Okay, probably so. And so you really have to kind of sit back, pray, and reconsider things. Now, I want us to talk about diet a little bit because that's everything. All right. And the diet, of course, goes into your food, your meal, what you drink, what you don't drink, including alcohol. Now, alcohol in of itself is not a bad thing. It goes back to the biblical days. Okay. All of the people in the Bible drank wine. They didn't have refrigeration. Okay. And so that was a way they could preserve grape juice, was fermenting it, and the alcohol would preserve it. And of course, they were limited in the amount they had available per person, per family, per community, per community. And when they had excess, they would sell it. Okay. And you don't need refrigeration. Wine will stay good. You'll lose a little bit of the character of the wine if it's not refrigerated, but it's not going to go bad because it's got the alcohol, maybe 8, 10, 12% alcohol. And of course, it's primarily from grapes and other fruit. Okay, grapes and other fruit. And so it's one of those things where the alcohol started out as a good thing because it was giving vitamin C and beta carotene and some minerals and things like that to people who weren't otherwise going to get them. So wine was not a bad thing. If you read the Old Testament, they're always talking about wine. You read the New Testament, they're always talking about wine. And when you look at some of the churches, the rabbis and the pastors and preachers and priests drink wine during the services. Okay. And so wine in of itself is not bad, but it's the abuse of it that actually gets you in trouble. So why do people abuse wine? Well, people abuse wine because they're minerally deficient. And they develop a behavior called pica, which drives them to eat more, which causes them to be overweight, obese, and get the metabolic syndrome. But there's some pretty clever people out there. And when they have pica, which is a symptom that drives you to eat and eat and eat and eat, it's a nutritional deficiency that causes you to eat and eat and eat and eat. And so when you have pica, and no matter what you eat is not fulfilling the desire to eat. And so if they say, well, I'm going to try this drug, I'm going to try this street drug. And after 2 or 3 times, they're addicted to it. Then they're in trouble. And some people, they start drinking too much wine because it gives them some comfort when they have pica, because the alcohol, it has a little bit of sedative effect to it and it relieves pain and all that kind of stuff. And so with that, they become an alcoholic, because alcohol is addictive like drugs. And so they accidentally become addictive because they're trying to get rid of that pica behavior. And they found that wine will actually help them with that behavior. Same way with drugs. I'm talking about street drugs now. And of course, I'm also talking about prescription drugs that are addictive. And so this is something you have to be aware of. And we talk about this all the time when I give my lectures. And so also we want to have more oxygen. We have Oxybody. I drink Oxybody every day for several reasons, but I just like being oxygenated, and I don't want to carry around a backpack and a mask and all that kind of stuff. So I use the Oxybody. I take an ounce twice a day, and I only weigh 142 pounds. And I also do everything I can to exercise. I walk 3 miles a day, about an hour apart. I don't walk the 3 miles all at one time. I'll walk a mile, and then I got lots to do for an hour or so, and then I'll walk a mile again, and I have lots to do again, so I walk a mile again. And I got people telling me after 25 years of doing this, they want me to start doing 4 miles a day, so I'll have to think about that. I don't have that much time, I don't think. And then, of course, I also, in addition to do my walking, I do 20 push-ups twice a day. Okay. And so I'm getting plenty of exercise. I'm not on any prescription drugs. And not too long, I'll be 83 years old. Okay. And so I don't have any prescription medication. I don't take any over-the-counter medication. And so, and this is because I'm doing everything that I can think of correctly. And it's not difficult. It's free to walk a mile. It's free to do push-ups. Okay. It's very inexpensive to take supplements compared to 15, 20, 30, 40 different prescriptions. I mean, the nursing homes are full of people who are taking 20, 30, 40, 50 prescriptions a day. There's 8 or 10 or 12 different doctors coming to them. Why is that? Because insurance pays. The doctors have kids in college and the tuition is due. And so that's why they use the patients in the nursing home as a dairy herd, and they milk the dairy herd every day. And this is really a sad case, because you'd like to think the doctors are in the business of helping people because of their love of helping people. But I don't even know if they know that alcoholism and drug addiction is due to nutritional deficiencies. Because if you were neutralized, or not neutralized, if you're nutrigenated, okay, and taking all your nutrified, thank you. If you were nutrified and taking all of your nutrition, you wouldn't have any addiction problems. You wouldn't be obese. You wouldn't have any addiction problems with food, with alcohol, with drugs, okay, because the alcohol doesn't jump on you. I mean, I drink a glass of wine every night with dinner, a glass of red wine with dinner every night. And, we get them from Argentina. We've probably 50% of the time, since I live in California, 50% of the time I'm eating California red wines. But every once in a while, they have a good deal on some wine from Argentina or from Spain or from France or something like that. We'll get some of those. And they're different tastes. You can tell the taste is different based on the soil they were grown in and what nutrients were in the soil. But the wine, you're interested in the alcohol, you're interested in the minerals and the vitamins that are in there. Okay, there's, obviously there's some sugar in there as well. But it goes back to the pre-Moses days. Okay, this goes way back, way back. Okay, to the pre-Moses days, wine was the thing, and it is talked about in the Old Testament. It's talked about in the New Testament, and we talk about it a little bit in the Third Testament. The Third Testament is like 99% done. The writing part is 99% done. Now we're in the process here, starting next month. We're going to be putting in all of the references and the pictures and the tables and everything. And it's the Third Testament. It's been 2,000 years since the writing of the New Testament. A lot of stuff has happened. We've got a lot of technology. We've learned things we didn't know about, and they had blanks in the Bible. It wasn't that things weren't happening then. They just had blanks in there because they didn't have the science to figure things out and put them in the Old Testament and the New Testament. So we did that. And it actually enhances what we're doing in the Third Testament, enhances all of the knowledge and all of the history and all of the good things in the Old Testament and in the New Testament. It's sort of a plus add-on. Is not to replace the certainly not to replace the Old Testament or the New Testament, but it's filling in the blanks and telling you why things happen, why all the good things happen and why all the bad things happen that they didn't know about because they didn't have the technology. Okay, they didn't know about germs back then, but they thought they were evil spirits causing, all these plagues and pandemics and things like that. And so we know about viruses and bacteria. So, we're just sort of putting in the information in the right places. And so things begin to make sense. We're also going to talk about oxygen, because if you have enough oxygen, you're going to be a level-headed, very nice person. If you don't have enough oxygen, you're oxygen deficient, most people will be irritable, angry, and they wake up in the morning, they're yelling at everybody, and it's just a big mess. The whole household erupts and fighting and all this kind of stuff, and people stomp out the door, and that's because there's not enough oxygen in the house. If you put a green plant in front of every window in the house, in the kitchen, the bathrooms, the den, the kids' playroom, and so forth, the living room, and then water it every, say, twice a week. For every pint of water, you want to put 1 or 2 ounces of our liquid plant-derived colloidal minerals in there. Give it the 20 nutrients that are necessary for plants to do making oxygen, okay, doing photosynthesis and breaking down carbon dioxide into oxygen. Suddenly now everybody's nice because they're getting enough oxygen. They're very pleasant. Nobody stomps out of the house. There's no arguing, yelling, and slapping each other and all this kind of stuff. That all goes away. Okay. And I call that a victory garden because it's a victory over a bad environment. And so if you do victory gardens in your house using the plant-derived colloidal minerals by watering them with water and then putting in the plant-derived colloidal minerals, I get people all the time tell me, well, I water the plants every day and they turn yellow and die. I said, well, what are you watering them with? Well, water. Well, don't you give them any minerals in the water, any fertilizer in the water? No, I just give them water. Well, that's why your plants turn yellow and die. And people think, oh, that I just don't have a green thumb. You hear that all the time. I don't have a green thumb. I've tried different plants. They all die on me 2-3 months after they're in the house. And that's because all they do is water them. They don't give them the plant-derived colloidal minerals, okay, with 85 different minerals in it. And so it's one of those things where if you do that one little piece, that will change everything in the household. People won't be killing each other. They won't be committing suicide. They won't be screaming at each other. They won't be on tranquilizers. They won't be going to the hospital because of wounds they've inflicted upon themselves or other people in their family. You won't be missing money because you won't be missing work. Okay, when you have those victory gardens in the house, and take your 90 essential nutrients and use the rebound instead of soft drinks. Remember, all those things were not invented to enhance your life. They were invented by the inventors to have a customer base to sell a product to make money. And they didn't know 100 years, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. They didn't know all the bad stuff caused by sugar and alcohol and so forth. And so, and nutritional deficiency. But they did know there were places on earth where people lived a long time. And they considered them very spiritual places where people lived longer, okay, were happier and did things positive. And these were places where people went for spiritual, which I say, spiritual environment. And they would go there to pray and to do all the things spiritual they could think of in these places. Well, it's because they had 65, 75, 80 minerals in the soil. And when all the food there had all these minerals in it. And that's why everybody was so pleasant and why you could think and why you could do spiritual things. Where when you go to a place like a desert that has very little in the way of nutrition in it, and everybody's crazy, but you start drinking alcohol and you become an alcoholic in 3 or 4 days because you're addicted to it because it made you feel good. Well, there you go. Remember that alcohol is a tranquilizer. And so be careful, be careful, be careful, be careful. We made wine, my grandma, and we were from the Ukraine. All of our relatives were from Ukraine. We came over in 1895, right after the Russo-Japanese War. And we had, on our farm, of course, we grew corn and sweet potatoes. And we had big gardens with carrots and onions and bell peppers and onions and things like that. But we also had a vineyard, and we grew grapes, and grandma made wine. But nobody ever became an alcoholic in our family because we were putting the wood ashes into the gardens and putting wood ashes into our food. We were getting our vitamins and minerals. They didn't have commercial vitamins and minerals available until I started realizing when I was 9 years old, I began to eat the animal vitamins and minerals they were giving animals because we had no health insurance for animals. So to prevent disease and prevent from having to call the veterinarian out there every week and run up the veterinary bill, we would give them vitamins and alfalfa pellets. These vitamins and minerals were in alfalfa pellets specifically made for sheep and poultry and beef and goats and all that kind of stuff. And so we would give it to them. And sure enough, I started taking them. And, you know, I was a very bad boy. I was very aggressive and violent, only 9 years old. I could beat up a 25-year-old man when I was 9 years old. And so they were going to institutionalize me. And so I started eating the food that we were giving the animals. And in 3 days' time, I was cured of my violent behavior. Just in 3 days, after 5 years of being violent, in 3 days, I cured myself by eating animal vitamins and minerals. That's how I learned about vitamins and minerals when I was 9. And so with that, I'm going to turn that back over to you, Rebecca.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. So we have several hands up today, and I just want to thank everybody for joining us here with Ask Doc Live. Now, Dr. Wallach, a lot of times we go, you know, more than just wine on New Year's Eve. We're talking champagne and alcohol, like, you know, the hard stuff, made from
whiskey,
potatoes, whiskey, rum, tequila, you know, all those things that are coming from plants. But we definitely want to make sure that what we're drinking is not adding to our digestive issues by clogging up the villi, which, you know, there's gluten in alcohol also.
You said something very important there, Rebecca. Okay, whiskey is made from gluten, wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Rye whiskey, right?
Yep.
Wheat, barley, rye, and oats. It makes whiskey. And of course, they have gluten in them. And there's gluten in wheat, barley, rye, and oats. There's gluten in whiskey. And so that's one of the bad things. There's several bad things about whiskey, the hard liquor, as you say. You know, back in the old days, they had it too. They made hard liquor back in the days of Moses, and as well as wine. Because once they learned you could make an alcoholic drink out of grapes, they started doing it out of fruit and so forth. And then they started fermenting the grains and so on. And it became a big industry because it solved a lot of problems for people because all their cravings for minerals went away when they drank alcohol, and they didn't gain weight and weren't obese. And obese people were eating the dry grains and so forth, and they would get to be obese. And so what should I say? When people were craving and they would drink these alcoholic beverages would satisfy their pica behavior. You can look it up in any dictionary, pica. It just says a craving to eat and eat and eat and eat. Sometimes they'll say because you're nutritionally deficient, causing the pica behavior, and sometimes they don't tell you that. They just say it's a behavior. and they don't know what causes it. But you're exactly right. All those other alcoholic beverages are still potentially dangerous. To have a glass of wine while you're playing poker or chess or something like that with somebody at the table at the house, or playing canasta, and everybody's, you got everybody in the family around the table playing cards, and they're having a glass of wine. There's nothing wrong with that, except for the little bitty babies. Of course, families they'll give their little bitty baby a couple of drops of wine, but that's fine. But don't go more than just no more than a couple of drops when they're teething. Okay.
Goodness. All right. Well, Dr. Wallach, thank you so much for that opening monologue. Great information shared. I hope there was something that you as the listening audience were able to glean some important information from that today. Again, if you have any questions and want to get any information or additional information that's going to be shared in the rest of the program today, get with the person that invited you to this program. If nobody invited you and you found our program, from our newsletter or just from browsing, you can go to ask.live.com and click contact us and send us an email that way with your questions. Or you can do a reply to the newsletter that you have with your questions as well. Or we do have a call team that is standing by for people that have never been introduced to the products before. They've never ordered any of the products that we're going to be speaking of. That call team number is 855-949-7234. Well, Dr. Wallach, let's get to our first hand that is up, and that is Jane. Jane, if you're able to come on and turn your camera on. Perfect. You are on live with Dr. Wallach. There you go. You're ready to go.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. I want to ask you about sleep apnea.
Okay. Well, sleep, of course, is a required behavior to rest and let your body repair itself from the day's previous events and so forth. And if you have low oxygen, sleep apnea, okay, you're having trouble sleeping, you're not getting enough oxygen while you sleep, and you wake up in the middle of the night and all that kind of stuff. You need to get rid of all the bad stuff. Is that your natural hair color?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so you have a little bit of gray in there. Okay. Do you have any varicose veins or spider veins in your legs?
Yes.
Okay. Now, both those are caused by the same nutritional deficiency. Gray hair is not due to aging. Gray, white, and silver hair is due to a nutritional deficiency. That same nutritional deficiency causes varicose veins, spider veins, and hemorrhoids, which are varicose veins in a funny place. And then also, that deficiency will cause ruptured aneurysms in the brain, ruptured aneurysms in coronary arteries, and in the aorta. Okay, so you're getting a red warning light, like the red warning light on the dashboard of your car. Okay, so yours is showing up. You probably have multiple deficiencies, including that one. And I never tell people what that one is. They can get it when they read the books. It'll tell you, what that one nutrient is. Deficiency causes these problems. But I used to tell them 30 years ago, I'd say, oh, it's this one. So they'd run to the store, they'd buy that one nutrient, and they'd take it, and they would die 3 months later because they were missing the other 89. Okay. And so I finally realized that they have to take all 90, and people, they want to shortcut that. I just want to take one. I don't want to take all 90. It's too much trouble, too much money, and so forth. And so they pay a horrible price in the end. So to sleep properly, you need to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, and oats. No sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go because the carbonation neutralizes stomach acid, which you need for your stomach to do its job. And so it's one of those things where the whole story comes down to, again, getting rid of all the bad stuff and taking your supplements. And how much do you weigh?
142.
142. Thank you. 142. Let's see here. 142. And then how tall are you?
5'5".
5'5". Okay. Well, 142 pounds, 5'5". I want you again to get rid of all the bad foods. I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, because you're displaying a red warning light that can be fatal here. Okay, so I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want you to take. Do you have any joint problems, any arthritis, any back pain, anything like that?
Yes.
Okay. Then you need 2 bottles a month of our MSM. So you can take 3 with each meal, 3 at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They will support and promote maintenance, repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone makes your bone itself. In some cases, sleep apnea is caused by this constant positional pain result when you lay down to go to sleep, because you have all this stuff going on in your back and your knees and your hips and your shoulders and your neck and so forth. And so it has to do with an almost subconscious awareness of the pain going on in all these joints. And I also want you to get our collagen peptides. It's in a big canister. It's a powder. I want you to put 1 scoop in your drink in the morning and 1 scoop in your drink at night. And let's see here. Then we have Sleepies, of course. You take 3 of those twice a day, the Sleepies. And I think that's where we want to go. And you'll do fine. But you got to get rid of the bad stuff so that you can absorb all these things. And when you have all this nutrition, your body does wondrous things. And of course, this is all in the Third Testament coming out. I'm very excited about that. And people say, well, Wallach, you're kind of stepping up to the plate, and who are you to write the Third Testament? Well, who was Moses? Well, Moses was the son of a farm couple, okay, who was Jesus Christ. Okay, he was the son of God, but he was born to a woman. Okay, and so these human beings were the ones who came up with this information. And so I believe I'm a child of God, and so I have the right to say things that are correct and will help people and not hurt people. And if you want to say, stick your tongue out at me, well, that's your choice. Okay, that's your choice. I'm tough. Okay, all of my grandparents and uncles at that time in 1895 came from the Ukraine, were very tough, and so they made me tough. And so, but there was not one obese person in our family, because we were putting all the wood ashes into our garden. We were putting all the wood ashes into our food, and we made our own wine and all that kind of stuff. And it's one of those things. And I'm a very good observer. My thesis for 20,000 autopsies is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure. Okay, because I'm the guy who came up with epigenetics, which has replaced genetics. There are no genetically transmitted diseases. I'm the guy that figured that out. And so that's what my thesis in the Smithsonian Institute is, a national treasure. And I'm very, very proud of it. The first printing by W.B. Saunders, which was a big medical printing house, or publishing house, they published my thesis, 5,000 pages. Okay, it's in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure, but they published it. Okay, and it's one of those things where the book, okay, actually has 1,200 pages. We edited it down to 1,200 pages, and it sold for $25,000 each. They published 30,000 copies. It sold for $25,000 each. Diseases of exotic animals, and the ones that are now used available online, you can go to Siri and ask for them. Disease of exotic animals. If they're beat up pretty bad, you can get them for $1,500 to $2,000. If they're in bad shape, you get them for $4,000, $4,500. If you get them in good condition, you get them for $6,000, $8,000. You get them in excellent condition, they're $8,000 to $12,000, $15,000. If they're still brand new in the box, still wrapped up, never opened, they sell for $25,000 to $35,000 each. Now, I'm not telling you that to brag. I'm telling you that for credibility, because the truth is the truth. And nobody had done 20,000 autopsies on 454 species of animals, and including humans. and showed that there were no genetically transmitted diseases. All the diseases thought to be genetic were just simple nutritional deficiency diseases, and which really showed up heavy duty when we went to electricity. And so this is why we go that direction. So, give us a call every couple of weeks. Again, I want you to take those supplements, stay away from the bad foods, give us a call, and you will have a great story.
All right. Well, Dr. Wallach, we're so close to the top of the hour. Let's go ahead and take 5 minutes now. And then we will come back to the next hand that is raised and questions that are in the comments. So everybody, thank you so much for sticking around with us as we are here to provide information that you may not hear anywhere else. And that's a story of hope, and making sure that you know that you have more power than you think over your own health journey. You do not have to be chemically dependent when it comes to trying to sustain life, because we're in on the crusade to help really grow and impact health, not maintain disease. So everybody, go ahead, get up, stretch, fill your glass of water, and we will be right back with Ask Doc Life. All right, thank you everybody for sticking around with us. We are here for you as a resource, and we want to make sure that you know that you are invited to invite other people. So if you have somebody that you care about that needs to know that there are alternatives to poor health, and that it's in their power to be able to make changes in their health, please invite them to this program. Share the email that you received that has the access information to the Ask Doc Live program. Share it with them and make sure that they also are getting information that they need to be able to make an empowered choice on how tomorrow, or even especially 5 years from now, can be impacted by what we do today. So Dr. Wallach, glad to see that you are back. Yes. Let's go ahead and go to the next hand that is up, and that is Carrie. So we've got Carrie and her mom here. I know the last time we were on, they were trying to get mom connected and weren't able to, but we've got her today. So go ahead and unmute, Carrie. And you are online with Dr. Wallach. Yes,
Hi.
Wallach. Hi, Dr. Wallach.
Hi.
I just want to say Happy New Year and thank you so much. I met you at Trinity Expo and went to all your seminars there in 2019.
Yeah, I recognize you.
Oh, you do? And you encouraged me to finish my ND, and I did, and to help my family.
Congratulations. What school did you go to? Trinity?
I did Trinity, yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for your encouragement. It changed my world. And so I did get involved with longevity, and I'm trying to help family first. And I wanted to talk to you about my mom. I got her on the basics just to get started. But before we reorder, I wanted to get your advice mostly about her psoriatic arthritis. Can I show you her hands?
Sure.
Or anyway, this is my mom, Sharon.
Hi, Dr. Wallach.
Hi, Sharon.
I followed you since the 70s when you first came out with Dead Doctors Don't.
It's still true.
It's still true. That's right. And you're still here. That's good. So here we go.
Get them really close.
Oh, yeah.
I got psoriatic, and then show them the other.
Okay. Yep.
And then some of the psoriasis comes in.
Do you have that on your, or do you have that on your feet also, or is it just on your hands?
Just on my hands.
Okay. Now, do you have any Gray hair, is that your hair color, or you're coloring your
No,
hair?
I'm all gray.
Okay, so psoriasis, white hair, any varicose veins or anything like that?
Not really,
Hemorrhoids?
not,
Okay, good. Do you have any bowel problems? Irritable bowel syndrome?
I do. Mhm.
Okay, IBS, okay. And then do you have any high blood pressure or diabetes?
no diabetes, but I had a quadruple bypass a couple years ago.
Okay. Glad you survived that.
Me too.
Okay.
Me too.
Okay, so, yeah, and I apologize. How old are you again?
77,
77.
trying to catch
Uh,
up with you.
All right. Well, we're not too far apart. Okay, let's see here, 77. And what do you weigh right now?
About 220,
And how tall are you?
5'9".
5'9". For 5'9" for a woman, I'd like to see you maybe weigh 160, 170, and you're 220, so maybe 50 pounds we need to work on. Okay, so none of the bad foods. Okay, and I'm sure Carrie knows most of this, but for our listening audience, none of the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, brown, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. There are no good oils. Okay,
Oh, good
there are no
oils.
good cooking oils. Coconut oil, no. Corn oil, no. Okay, wheat germ
Grape-
oil, no.
Grapeseed,
Grapeseed oil, no. Okay, here's the deal. What you want to do, if you're going to get grapes and eat the grapes, chew on the seeds and eat the seeds, that's fine. But you don't want the oil because it stores and it oxidizes and turns into something bad. Just like rusting on iron, okay, same principle. Iron is good, but once it starts rusting, it's not as strong as it used to be, right? Because it's oxidized and so on. All right. So here we go. I want you to have, again, none of the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, brown, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. New Year's could be a little glass of wine is okay. Cheat, but
Tiny
but no whiskey. Okay, no whiskey, because whiskey has all those grains in it, which is bad. And then you want to I guess you know enough about all the other bad foods. Then I want you to get on at 220. Okay, I want you to get on 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, full dose everything twice a day. 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, full dose at breakfast, full dose at dinner time. And do you have joint problems? Any hands, knees?
I
Okay,
do.
okay. Don't forget the MSM. 3 of those with each meal. That's 2 bottles a month of the MSM. That will support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone makes your bone itself, and skin, walls of the arteries, walls of the veins. And so disc between the vertebrae would be a big thing for you also, I think. And then I also, let's see here, would like you 2 healthy brain and heart packs, 2 bottles of the MSMs and get that done. I want you to get 1 canister of the collagen peptides. So you can take a scoop of that at breakfast, a scoop of that at dinner. That has the cartilage from fish, poultry, sheep, and beef in it. Okay, it's very, I do that and I only weigh 142 pounds. And then I want you to also take the, let's see here, let's go with the Fucoid Z,
Wow.
okay,
Yeah.
which is from all of the seaweed in one ocean. Take 3 of those twice a day. It's 2 bottles a month. Take our, let's see here, go ahead and take the Ocean's Gold, take 3 of those twice a day. That's from the other ocean, 8 or 9 different seaweeds and all the trace minerals from them. All right. And I think I would go, do you have any memory problems or anything like that starting?
I'm pretty good.
Pretty good? Okay.
I've
Well,
thought
just-
about,
You
buffing
need to eat
it up a
eggs.
little bit.
Okay, you need to eat eggs. Eat 3 eggs twice a day.
Mhm.
Soft boiled, soft poached, soft scrambled in butter is that they're runny. Okay. Hard boiled eggs don't count because what you're looking for is the nutrition in the yolk of the egg. And if you hard boil it, you destroy 90% of the nutrition in the yolk.
Okay.
Okay. And then I think you'll be amazed that the irritable bowel syndrome goes away, the psoriasis will go away. One other thing I want you to have is hair, skin, and nails. Get 2 bottles of that a month. So you can take 3 twice a day, the hair, skin, and nails. And within weeks, how long have you been suffering with psoriasis?
All my life.
Well, there you go. Well, you're going to be a new woman.
Good.
And you're going to be a new woman.
All right.
And so thank you both so much. And I just can't wait to have, events where you guys are at. And you're in Nebraska?
No, I'm in California and Mom's in Tennessee, but we'll meet up wherever you are.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We'll find you.
We'll find you.
Okay. Yeah. Mom's in Tennessee. Okay. Yeah, I spent a lot of time there in Tennessee and Memphis. I was the director of the zoo there for some years.
Oh,
The Memphis
Well,
Zoo,
it's
yeah.
really moldy here, as you know.
Oh, yeah, it's
65 inches of rain a year,
Yeah.
fighting
Mhm.
mold all the time.
yeah, she's originally from Arizona, so this is big environmental change.
How long you been in Tennessee?
Just going on 4 years because my youngest daughter's going to law school at Belmont.
Ah, okay,
and so
great.
I'm here to help her. She's got 2 little kids and
Mhm.
so on.
Well,
So
Well, congratulations, Grandma.
thank you.
A lot of generations here
Yeah.
trying to get healthy.
Yeah. Well, I'm a granddaddy, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm also a great granddaddy, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a great too. Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you,
Love that.
ladies.
So we
Love
need
you.
her around for a long time,
Well, yeah.
right?
Right.
Healthy.
And why not another 100 years?
Why
Woo!
not? That's what we say.
When you read the Third Testament, you'll be able to add 100 years to your life.
Ooh,
Oh
I
my
love
gosh.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
Bye bye.
That's
Okay.
good.
Bye bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
I love it. Here we go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carrie and Sharon, so much for coming on with those great questions. So Dr. Wallach, there's a question here that Monica wants to know, how do we know that soy is not GMO? And she said that she did a baby drink, I must say formula. Many formulas have soy in it. What is your perspective on that?
Don't use those
All right,
because there's many baby
Label.
formulas that don't have soy on them.
that's right. So we want to make sure that we're reading
Yeah,
labels
soy.
on our,
Yeah, you read the label. Soy is for fattening pigs.
okay. Well, we don't want to fatten ourselves. So
That's right.
that's for sure. So, okay. And the next question, Dr. Wallach, comes from Evelyn, Evelyn was having a hard time finding a place how to raise her hand. So, Evelyn, we're going to go ahead and take your question here. You could go ahead and unmute yourself. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, Dr. Wallach.
How can we help you?
I've been having a sinus infection and swollen eyes that seem to be they're red and infected.
I'm
And
getting a lot of feedback. I don't know what's going on
I
there.
think she's in a restaurant. So I'm going to go ahead and read this, Evelyn, and then
Thank
you can
you.
answer questions if he has questions. Okay. So Evelyn says she's a female, 150 pounds, 5'7.5". She's experiencing sinus and eye infections that is lasting, and weight gain on the belly and arms that's sticking even with cutting out gluten and sugar. And she has lots of sugar cravings.
Mhm. Okay. So when you have cravings, it translates to pica. Okay. So she's deficient in certain things. All right. And then of course,
And she also added she has eczema on her scalp.
okay, well, that's very good information. Thank you. Well, at 150 pounds, I want her to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no rhinos, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go. Then I want her to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dose of everything at breakfast, full dose of everything at dinner time. I want her to get 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They will support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, including the skin and the arteries and the eyes and every place else, bone matrix in the skull, and so forth. This may be related to the skull, squeezing her optic nerve, her optic artery, and optic vein. When you have osteoporosis of the skull, it will do that. And let's see here. She has all the skin issue, correct? Did she say skin
Yes.
issue?
Well, she's
Yeah.
got the eczema on her
Mhm.
scalp.
Yep. Eczema. Okay. And so I want her also to have the collagen peptides. She can have a scoop of that at breakfast in her drink, and a scoop of that for dinner in her drink. Again, that has the collagen from those 4 different groups of animals. That's going to help her out there. Also for her eye, I want her to have the Vision FX. She could take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. I want her to have the Fucoid C. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And let's see, I think that covers everything that she complained about. Oh, the sinus infections and things. And this would be good because of the COVID thing too. She needs to be doing the colloidal silver. She can do a dropper full under her tongue 3 minutes before each meal, 3 minutes before bedtime. Okay. She'll go through 2 bottles a month of this 4-ounce size bottle of the colloidal silver. And then she also needs the hand sanitizer. Okay. If she's eating out at restaurants or working in a restaurant, that kind of stuff, you need the hand sanitizer because people are always touching their face and this, that, and the other. And you want to kill those bugs, shake hands and hug friends and loved ones and so forth. And I even put the hand sanitizer, I do that twice a day. When I wake up in the morning, I put a dropper full between my toes. And then before I put my socks on, and I put a dropper full sort of like in the afternoon, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll put a dropper full again on my toes through my socks. Okay. To get the hand sanitizer to kill any bugs that might come through the dust on the floor and the rugs and that kind of stuff. So I'm not taking any chances with my hands or my feet transmitting the bug. Okay.
Dr. Wallach, as far as the eye infection goes, something that I've been doing is for clients is doing the colloidal silver drops right in the eye.
Yeah, there's no alcohol in it. You could do that. You could put a drop or 2 in the eye. Yep, you could do that. But a lot of times when they think they have an eye infection, it's really osteoporosis of the skull squeezing the optic nerve, the optic artery, and the optic vein. And you get the pressure in the eye goes up because you can't get the blood out of the eye. The pressure in the artery puts it in the eye, but you can't get it out, pressure out of the eye. So you get so you get the pressure in your eye going up as well when you have osteoporosis of the skull.
All right. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go to Miriam and Oscar. You are up next with Dr. Wallach. Go ahead and unmute yourself. You should be able to now. All right, you're live. Go ahead. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach.
Hi, where are you guys from?
Hi, doctor. Nice
Hi.
to see you. Meet
Good
you.
to see you. Okay, where are you from?
I'm from Paraguay, doctor. I have been in this country for 65 years.
Okay, where are you from originally?
Well, my folks came from Italy and Spain.
Okay, very good. All right, and so right now you're in
Right now, we're in Maryland.
Maryland. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay, very good.
Okay, so Dr.
Okay.
Wallach, I'm calling for my dad, Oscar. He's 88 years old. He's 5'9", used to be 5'10". He's 150 pounds. He has a 35-year history of type 2 diabetes, for which he's been on metformin for 30 years and glimepiride for 3 years.
Wow.
6 years ago, he experienced fatigue and discovered he had a lung embolism, for which he took Eliquis temporarily and it dissolved. But they also found a mass in his pancreas, for which he had surgery called a Whipple procedure, which means they removed part of his pancreas and all of his gallbladder. Then 3 years ago, he had cataract surgery and prostate surgery. He's taking meds for both. 2 years ago, he started having numbness and tingling in his left arm, although he sleeps on his right side. It goes away during the day too, when he shakes his arm. This summer, we started him on the 90 for Life protocol, but the reason for our call today is that 7 weeks ago, his fatigue returned. with labored breathing. They found another embolus in his lung, for which they started him on Eliquis. And they told him he'll probably have to be on it for the rest of his life, treat future emboli. They also found another mass on his pancreas, and they're calling it a cyst. And he had an abdominal scan this week, but we do not yet have the results.
Okay, well, the word mass scares people. The word
Mhm.
cyst doesn't scare people.
Mm.
Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm.
You got the picture?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, the picture is the doctor is scaring you guys by using the word mass when it's really just a cyst.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. And then I also finally wanted to mention his twin brother died 6 years ago of pancreatic cancer, and he had cirrhosis, non-alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver. So my dad is also concerned about his pancreas.
Okay, well, I have to admit, I cannot help his brother.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, he's in God's hands now, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you have a whole litany of things here, all of which are nutritional deficiencies. Every one of your problems is caused by nutritional deficiency, okay? Everything from the shrinking 1 inch to the gray hair. Do you have any skin problems, any eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis, or rosacea, or anything like that?
Mhm.
Do you have any skin issues?
No, I don't. No.
Okay.
I don't believe you, but that's okay. You have wrinkles.
Well, that's
Okay. Okay. So at any rate, what I want you to do, and your hair color will come back. Okay. Your diabetes will go away. I take people, have you ever been put on dialysis? Do you have any kidney issues, anything like that?
no.
Okay, good. All right. So what I want you to do is get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, bread, rhinos, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. Everybody in the household's got to be the same.
Mhm.
Okay. Nobody in the house can be eating any of those bad foods, including the dog and the cat and everything. You got to read the labels on the dog food and the cat food and make sure they don't have any wheat, butter, rye, oats in their foods, because they sit on your lap and you hug them and pet them and all that kind of stuff. They're covered in gluten. So this is an environmental thing as well as a personal food thing. Okay. Then if you're going to get the maximum benefit from the supplement program, it's got to be the whole household. It's got to be on the same program.
Mhm.
Then at 150 pounds, I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. And then that's going to give you 215 nutrients, 215 nutrients, okay, twice a day. Then I want you to take 3 of the MSM tablets at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's 2 bottles a month. And they're designed to support and promote maintenance, repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between a vertebrae, bone, makes your bone itself. I know you have disc problems because you've shrunk 1 inch. Okay, that's your disc shrinking. And do you have any tingling or numbness or burning in your feet?
Not on my feet, only on my left
On your
hand.
hand.
In
In
the
your left
morning,
hand. Okay.
yeah, right after I wake up.
Okay. So you have it in your left hand. Okay. You have osteoporosis of the skull squeezing the spinal cord. Your spinal cord is formed in the brain, comes out of the back of the skull. And the foramen magnum in Latin means big hole. And your spinal cord comes out of the foramen magnum. And the skull, when you have osteoporosis of the skull, your skull, instead of being 1/4 of an inch thick as it should be, it's 1 inch thick. It's called Paget's disease, and it squeezes that spinal cord. And that's why you're having this stuff going on in your left arm. Okay. All right. And so it's not unusual to be in one side. It doesn't have to be in both sides. What about this stuff going on in your eyes? Is it going on in one eye or?
What?
Your eyes, do you have problems with both eyes or just one?
Well, I have a cataract operation, doctor, and then a laser operation to remove whatever grew up in top of my eyes. But
Yes. Was it both eyes or just the left eye or what?
both eyes, doctor. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then I also want you to have the collagen peptides. It's a scoopful in your drink in the morning at breakfast, a scoopful in your drink in the evening. Okay, collagen peptides. That's the cartilage from fish, poultry, sheep, and beef. All right. And then see here. I want you to take our vitamin D3, take 3 of those twice a day. Up in Maryland, even in the summertime, you're not going to get out in the sun and lay naked for 4 hours. So you have to take the vitamin D3, take 3 of those twice a day. People, they sit in the sun in the shade. They don't sit in the sun. They don't get vitamin D3 anymore. And back in the old days when we were working in the fields and things like that, right? And so, sun is bad, gives you skin cancer. Oh my gosh, yeah, right. Okay. And so then type 2 diabetes, all your doctors need to go to jail here, okay? Especially since 1960. At any rate, metformin is an oral type 2 diabetes medication. And so has it been controlling your diabetes blood sugar levels for you?
Yes, doctor.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, good. Then I want you to start taking our sweeties. Take 3 of those twice a day. It's 2 bottles a month. Don't get off your metformin. Go ahead and take your blood sugar like you're supposed to on a regular basis. And as the blood sugar begins to drop, you can slowly reduce the metformin based on the numbers, right? Don't cold turkey off of it when you start our sweeties. And then I also want you to have our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month, and they will support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. You already had a triple bypass, right?
No,
No.
Oh, okay. You didn't. Okay. You've had blood clots.
Yes.
Yes.
Twice.
Okay. Okay. So this will help prevent more blood clots. When you have blood clots, it's a nutritional deficiency. Blood clots are a nutritional deficiency. And so by doing all this, it's going to reduce the risk of having more blood clots significantly, as long as you're staying away from gluten so you can absorb all this stuff. Now, because you've had your gallbladder removed, okay, I want you to take what we call our gallbladder in a bottle, because you need the bile in fairly large amounts to absorb all the stuff that God designed the bile to absorb out of your intestines, right? And so I want you to take our ultimate enzymes, take 2 of those, say 5 or 10 minutes before each meal. That'll be 2 bottles a month of the ultimate enzymes. Take 2 before each meal. That's 3 times a day. And within a couple of weeks, you're going to notice a huge difference. Your hair color is going to start coming back. All this is going to start, skin is going to look better. It's going to be amazing, because the stuff that is required for your skin and your hair it is absorbed by, it requires this things that are in the ultimate enzymes, which we call the gallbladder in a bottle. Okay. So do that. And for fatigue, I want you to take our Rebound or sports drink. You could have 2 or 3 servings of that a day. Just don't take it after 4 or 5 o'clock, because you'll be up all night. It'll keep you up all night. All right. And it has 100 nutrients in it, 75 minerals and 25 vitamins, amino acids. It's a great, great, great energy drink. I think we've covered all the issues. Yep. Okay, so give us a call every couple of weeks. Anytime you go to the doctor and get some kind of status report, but give us a call every couple of weeks, even if you haven't gone to the doctor yet, because you will know from your blood sugar levels, you'll know from your skin, your hair color will start coming back if you're doing everything right, because the hair color is not due to age, it's due to a nutritional deficiency. Okay, and so the hair color will come back. You're going to look like you're 50.
All right. Well, I've seen Oscar over the last year, and I can already tell that he has some darkness coming there by his temples, coming in.
Oh, okay,
So,
good. It's already started.
absolutely, it's already starting. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, Oscar,
you.
and Happy New Year.
God
Thank you.
bless. Yeah.
Doctor,
thanks.
I have read your book, doctor, and my daughter just brought me 11 more of your books. So I'm going to have enough.
Okay, well, let's have a conversation after a while.
Yeah.
Thank
It
you.
was a pleasure to meet you, doctor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless.
All right, next let's go to Vanessa. Vanessa, go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Dr. Wallach.
Hi.
I am 59,
Okay.
187 pounds, 5'3". I was recently diagnosed with, I think it's called endometrium hyperplasia. My uterus, lining of the uterus is thick. It's like 10 mm. And the doctors are concerned about it.
Okay. Have you had children?
Yes,
Okay. How many
Yes.
kids do you have?
2.
Okay.
Mhm.
And do you have any gray hair?
Yes,
Okay.
very,
So you're coloring your hair.
very much. Yeah, every
Okay,
2 weeks.
Okay. Are you, let's see here. Do you have any varicose veins in your legs?
Yes, lots of them. Spider
Okay,
veins,
and-
varicose veins.
Any hemorrhoids?
No.
Okay. And then anything going on in your joints? Any noisy joints when you go up the steps? Any clicking or popping? Any pain in your knees or hips or shoulders or hands or wrists or anything like that?
Yes, and I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis like 11 years ago. However, the last 4 or 5 years, they say I've been in remission. So
Hmm.
I haven't had any joint,
Okay.
real joint
Mhm.
pains.
Okay, good. Well, rheumatoid arthritis is two diseases. It's a nutritional deficiency arthritis. It's got a secondary infection with a bug called mycoplasma, okay, which is killed by antibiotics, particularly the antibiotic called minocycline. Did you ever have antibiotics given to you for the rheumatoid arthritis?
Yes, and I was
Okay.
put on a lot of really hard stuff.
Okay, so this is why that's why you're in remission, because you're put on antibiotics, because rheumatoid arthritis is not an autoimmune disease, it's actually an infection. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't think doctors know that, but
No, they told me it was.
they told you it was an autoimmune disease. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's not true. All right.
Okay.
So good, you're in remission. Okay. Any high blood pressure or diabetes?
No.
Okay, good. All right. How tall? Let's see, you're 5'3", 187. What's your age?
59.
Oh yeah. Okay, I apologize. I think I got that. Okay, so here we go. Gotta get rid of all
Okay.
the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, rye oats, no sugar. There are no such things as gluten-free oats. The gluten in oats is called gliadin, and idiots and criminals will sell you, quote, gluten-free oats, unquote, because it's
Okay.
called gliadin instead of gluten in oats. Okay, don't do that. It'll kill
Okay.
your intestines so you can't efficiently absorb. Then at 187 pounds, I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 full dose of everything twice a day, full dose of everything twice a day. Okay. Then I want you to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM. So you take 3 with breakfast, 3 with lunch, 3 at dinner time. And they're designed to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, discs between the vertebrae, bone, makes your bone itself. And then
Okay.
I also want you to have, let's see here, our Fucoid Z. Go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day. That's from the algae from one ocean. And take our let's see here. I'd also have you take the 2 bottles a month. So you take 3 twice a day, Fucoid Z. And then the Ocean's Gold, take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month from the other ocean, different trace minerals.
Okay.
And I want you to take our hair, skin, and nails. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And do you exercise or anything like that, or do any kind of physical stuff?
No, just I walk, but I watch my 2 little grandkids, 1 and 2-year-olds, so they keep me pretty
Oh,
busy.
okay, good. So yeah, you should be using our Rebound sports drink with 100 nutrients in it. No soft drinks, even the diet ones got to go. Okay, because the carbonation neutralizes stomach acid. Do you have any hiccups or coughing or anything like that?
No.
Okay, good. All right. 5'3", I'd like to see you weigh 120. So we need to lose a little bit of weight. So, but you're going to start losing some weight when you do all this. Now, getting to the
Oh, great.
uterus, I want you to, again, stay away from all the bad foods, but I want you to
Mhm.
take 3 of our Xerafem twice a day. That'll be 2 bottles a month of the Xerafem. Take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. And that's going to, are you still cycling, or yes, no?
No. No.
Okay. So even if you're not cycling anymore, it'll help your ovaries make more estrogen and progesterone to calm the uterus down. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
It's called Xerafem, 3 twice a
Okay.
day.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
And give us a call every couple of weeks, bring us up to date, and we'll walk you through this.
Okay. I have one more thing. I
Yeah.
recently ordered your healthy pack. It's
Mhm.
I ordered 2 of them. I spoke with Dr. Drew Peterson,
Mm-hmm.
and he recommended that I get your pack. So I just recently ordered it. I haven't gotten it yet. So
Okay.
I'm
So
waiting
next
for
time
it.
you order,
Okay.
instead of the healthy start pack, you want the healthy brain and heart pack. The healthy
Okay.
start pack has 90 nutrients in it. The healthy brain and heart pack has 215 nutrients in it.
Okay. Okay.
And okay, now when you don't have to color your hair every 2 weeks, then you can drop back to the Healthy Start Pack, okay?
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah, our goal here is to give you 25 to 50 more years with your grandbabies, okay?
Absolutely. Amen. Thank you.
Amen, amen. Okay, God bless you, dear.
God bless you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Vanessa.
Thank you so
All
much.
right. So Dr. Wallach, we had a question in regards to back to colloidal silver. I mean, because there are people that are concerned about taking colloidal silver and that it could potentially change the color of their skin. What are your thoughts on that?
You cannot afford enough to turn blue, okay? It's not going to change the color of your skin. I've been taking it for 25 years, and you can see my color of my skin.
Not blue.
Not blue. It's a little pink because I get out in the sun here in California when I do my walk. You know, I wear a short sleeve shirt, even though it's only maybe 65 degrees outside in the middle of the day when I'm taking my walks. I do take off my sweatshirt.
Off your sweatshirt, get some sun.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
I
so
like
it
to.
leads me
I like to get out in the
into-
sun.
Okay, so that leads me into the next question regarding vitamin D.
Vitamin D
Liz
is in
has been
David.
D as in David.
Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
So Liz has been supplementing with vitamin D as an add-on for absorption. She had some blood work done and it showed that her vitamin D level was 94 on her last test, which is outside of the upper reference level of 80. She wants to know what is the optimal D3 levels. And then she goes into also asking about niacin plus, as it's been making her be flush all over her body. She wants to know why.
Okay, well, that's what niacin does. Niacin causes a flush because it dilates the blood vessels and causes hot flashes kind of stuff. And so she might, take a half of one at breakfast and a half of one at dinner time. I take two a day. I take one at breakfast, one at dinner time. And I don't get a conscious, I'm not aware of any flush that I get. Okay, but of course I've been doing this for 75 years, so I'm used to it, right? But pellagra is caused by a niacin deficiency. Okay, it used to go along, with when people would they'd be on the crew on the boats and everything, and they would wind up with all this vitamin C deficiency, right? And they would wind up with those kind of problems. And so you have to take those things. People didn't just have vitamin C deficiency in those days. They'd have deficiencies, maybe 6 or 8 or 10 different vitamins and minerals, but they would blame the scurvy on, that was it. Okay. And so when one British boat captain had a little orchard on his property, he grew limes. He started taking bags full of limes and give it to his crew members, and all their scurvy would go away. And so all these other captains, they'd sit around the bar and talk. He'd tell them about that. And so they started giving limes to their crew. And that's why the British were called limeys, because they ate limes to eliminate, prevent, and cure scurvy. But they didn't know what to do about the pellagra. That was a totally different issue. Okay, that's niacin, not vitamin C. But at any rate, it's a great history of nutritional deficiencies, because they were just eating salt pork and drinking beer made from wheat, stuff like that. They couldn't afford to give wine to their crew, so they just gave beer and salt pork. They didn't give them bread because it would mold and stuff like that on the ship and stuff like that. So after the first, they take some bread with them, but after the first couple of days, all the bread would be gone, and they justified it because the Bible says man cannot live by bread alone, so he didn't need the bread. And so that's how it worked. So back to you.
All right, well, let's go to the next hand that is up, and that is Terry. Terry, if you can go ahead and unmute yourself, and if you're able to bring your camera up, that would be fantastic as well. Get you on here with Dr. Wallach, and you are on live with Dr. Wallach, Terry.
Terry, hi. How can I help you?
Got a question. I suffer from gout from time to time. Just recently had an outbreak. Just trying to find out what I can do to help prevent that from
Okay,
reoccurring.
okay, sir. Do you have any other issues? High blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis, anything like that?
High blood pressure.
Okay, I know you're bald. Okay, so anyway, yeah, gout is a dietary thing. It happens when you have arthritis and you eat foods that have, let's see here, it's got the acid in it, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so what you want to do is stay away from foods that have the acid in it. And we're talking about shellfish, okay, shrimp, oysters, crab, lobster, that kind of stuff. Stay away from them. You have to, yes, see, we hit the button, right? So that's why every once in a while you wind up with gout, okay, because they have the acid in it, okay? And so you got to give up all those foods, okay, that have the acid in it. And so I want you to do that. And then I also, how much do you weigh, Terry? You're a big fella.
Yeah. 195.
Okay. And how tall are you?
I'm 5'7".
5'7". Okay. And then you have high blood pressure. You said that. Do you have diabetes?
No.
Do you have any kidney issues?
No, currently no.
Okay. So they're not saying, you might have to get on dialysis soon or anything like that?
No.
Okay. And so, yeah, you want to track and kind of look back at it. Every time I had a bout of gout and the uric acid was in it. Oh, I gave it away. Okay, it's uric acid. Yeah, uric acid and all those shellfish, but also there's some beans and things that have uric acid in them too. So you want to kind of keep a little notebook with you and keep a chart. And every time you eat something and then you wind up with a bout of gout an hour later or 2 hours later or the next day, you can't eat that food anymore.
Okay.
Okay. It's just sorry, I can't do it. But big guy like you, 195 pounds, I want you to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want you to have 2 bottles a month of our MSM, take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time, and they will support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, discs between the vertebrae, bone makes bone itself. And then because you have the high blood pressure, I want you, a big fellow like you, I want you to have 2 bottles a month of our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. So you can take 3 twice a day. And it will support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. It will support healthy blood pressure, make your kidneys happy, make your heart happy, the coronary arteries happy, the blood vessels in your brain happy. And then I want you to make sure that you're taking the, let's see here, let's go with the hair, skin, and nails. Okay, 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And your hair will grow back. I have people who are bald. I mean, like a bowling ball for 30, 40 years. And in 6 weeks time to 2-3 months time, they grow all their hair back in the same color it was when they were 20 years old.
So I'll be a strawberry blonde again.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Well, you'll look 30 years younger. And my goal here is to add 25 to 50 years to your life. Okay. Because when you have all these symptoms you're having, you're restricting nutrition and stuff, you're subtracting years from your life. You're subtracting the quality of your life, and you're subtracting years from your life. And so you're consciously doing that. So I want you to consciously be taking the things that are going to consciously add 25 to 50 years to your life. Okay. So do call us on a regular basis. People are going to want to hear from Terry, because I think, you should be a movie star.
One last thing.
Yes, sir.
For joint, because I would an athlete, of course. So every once in a while I have knee pains. Is there anything?
Yep, well, you're going to get rid of that. That's going to all go away when you get on the 3 of the MSM 3 times a day. That's 2 bottles a month, because they're big bottles. You can do that. You only need 2 bottles to get 3 times a day. It'll rebuild the cartilage in all your joints, the disc between the vertebrae, the tendons, the ligaments, the connective tissue, your bones, your connective tissue in the walls of your arteries and veins. This MSM is really, one of the greatest connective tissue products on the market ever. The only thing that was better than that was bone broth. when I was a kid, we didn't have MSM when I was a kid. You know, we only had wood stoves and fireplaces. And we would put at night, we would put the bones from chickens and beef and ribs and all that kind of stuff in vinegar water and leave it simmer on the wood stoves all night. And we would drink that bone broth in the morning. We were getting all that stuff. Well, we made a product to equal the bone broth. So you don't have to sit there all night, and because you don't want an electric stove on all night because you have a house fire or something like that. Okay. And so we have the equivalent plus, okay, in our MSM, but the idea for it came from the bone broth.
All right, thank you so much. And Terry, I'm real sorry about having to cut those foods out of your diet. I really am. But there is absolutely nothing wrong with being a strawberry blonde. Just saying.
Thank you.
So let's go next to the next hand, which I had a little bird tell me has something he would like to share, and that is Jack. Jack, if you could unmute yourself and turn your video on, that would be fantastic.
All right. How you guys doing today?
Okay, sir. How can we help you?
We've been following you guys for a long while now. From Nima and Alex from Alabama. Good. That's our family. And
okay.
Ashton started.
How long you know Nima?
For 10 plus years.
Wow.
So we've been taking the supplements that you told us to take, and I just wanted my son to tell you how he feels about it. Go ahead, tell him.
What's your son's name? What's your name, sir?
Ashton.
Ashton, very nice. Handsome young man. So how can tell us your story?
The pills, they make me stronger and faster and more better.
So he's basically, ever since he started taking the pills, because he works out 5 to 7 days a week.
Wow.
And playing football, and
how old is Ashton?
He's 6.
Wow, and he's playing football already. Great. What position does he play?
Running back, tight end, middle linebacker, defensive end, D tackle. He's all over the field.
Oh, all right, good man. Yeah, well, by the time he gets to high school, oh my gosh, he should be getting scholarships from colleges. Very good.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So
Well,
for guiding us with this process.
Okay. So yeah, well, Nima is a good one, but I'll give you a little bit of stuff. How much does Ashton weigh?
Right now, around 82 to 85 pounds.
Wow, he's kind of a muscular 6-year-old.
Yes.
How tall is he?
He's like 4'8".
Wow. Okay, very good. Yeah, he's gonna be a great athlete. Okay, so I want him to have 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. Okay, I want him to get another bottle of our selenium. There's 1 bottle of selenium comes with the healthy brain and heart pack. So I want him to have 6 of our selenium a day, 2 at breakfast, 2 at lunch, 2 at dinner time. And the reason I'm making a specific thing on that is that so many of these kids die of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease. You know, you hear all these young athletes, there's about 500 to 1,000 die each year in America from this hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease. It's a deficiency of a single nutrient. Okay. And this nutrient is in that product we call selenium. Okay, there's 5 cofactors. Don't go get selenium from Walgreens. It's our selenium with the 5 cofactors. I want him to have 6 a day. He could have 2 with each meal. And then he needs a half a dose of everything else in that healthy brain and heart pack, a half a dose of everything twice a day. I want him to have, let's see here, 2 of our MSM with each meal, 2 at breakfast, 2 at lunch, 2 at dinner time. And that's going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone breaks, bone cell. So it's going to really give him a head start. And when he gets over 100 pounds, I want him to go to 3 MSM, okay, with each meal. That's going to he'll be an Iron Man for sure. And then I want him to have the Fucoid Z. It's going to help his immune system because he's getting to that age where he can get into trouble with the COVID. So I want him to get on the Fucoid Z. Go ahead and take 2 of those twice a day. That'll be 1 bottle a month of the Fucoid Z. If he prefers the liquid, we have it. It's called Z Radical in the liquid. He could take a ½ ounce twice a day, 1 quart a month if he prefers the liquid. It tastes good. Kids love it. And I also want him to have our collagen peptides. In his morning drink, I want him to have a half a scoop of the collagen peptides. In his evening drink, I want him to have a half a scoop of the collagen peptides. And again, it's the connective tissue, it's the collagen from fish, poultry, sheep, and beef. And it replaces the old bone broth we used to make on the stove. It's much more convenient than doing that. And let's see here, we have the Rebounder sports drink with 100 nutrients in it. And we don't want him having much after 4 o'clock because he'll stay up all night. But, he should not have a full dose of Rebound 3 times a day because he'll be a wild man. Okay, maybe before a game or something. It's not, okay, but you'll start him out with maybe a third of a dose of the Rebound and see how that works for him. And you can kind of figure it out what's the best dosage of the Rebound for him. But no soft drinks, which are just sugar and carbonation, whereas the Rebound has 100 nutrients in it. Okay, this young man, you've done a great job here, Jack. Aston, I'm going to keep track of him. We need to have him come on. It's toll free, so he needs to come on. I'd say once a month at least, maybe twice a month, and tell us what's going on, even if it's only for 5 or 10 minutes, because all the kids in America, all the kids in the world are going to love and respect and know Aston. He's going to be a hero to them, okay?
All right, Ashton, 15 years, buddy. We're going to be seeing you play the big time football.
All right.
And we're going to be watching you, bud. You're going to be Iron Man for sure. So thank you so much, Jack, for coming on and sharing Ashton with us. And for Nima and Alex, Mr. and Mrs. Turnup, and sharing the business, well, the products, the nutrition with you.
Yeah.
Keep Ashton strong. That's absolutely wonderful. Thanks, buddy. All right, Dr. Wallach, we have another hand. Let's try to get 2 more hands up before we finish off today. Tammy, thank you so much for raising your hand because you've got a great question. And if you're able to turn your camera on, that would be fantastic as well.
This is Tammy?
Tammy, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tammy.
Hi. So I put some of the information in. It's a friend of mine that had some, she had COVID.
Okay, I'm looking, stop. I'm looking at your tonsils. That's better.
Sorry.
Okay, that's better.
Okay. Anyways, she had COVID back during the summer, all kinds of health issues. She was on supplements that were keeping her, doing pretty well. And then COVID, of course, like you said, the hospital took her off all of her supplements. She had some really, really serious problems. I think she was in the hospital for a couple of weeks. But anyway, she's trying to recover and get nutrition back in her, and she's having trouble just getting anything in. She was taking.
Okay, how much did she weigh? How much did she weigh?
It's in the. I think I said about
180 pounds, 5'6". Age is 51.
Okay.
Yeah, she does have all kinds of trouble with her hair. She's got all kinds of anxiety issues. When she tried to take the body potty, the liquid, it just made her nauseous. So she couldn't take that. So she's got the BTT. We're going to try that now, see how she does with that. So it's kind of baby steps. But specifically right now, she's going, I can't, she's so, her muscles are just so weak. I mean, she like crochets a little bit and she's like, her shoulders are tight.
Okay, well, let's stop there. Does she have any diabetes or high blood pressure?
I don't believe, and no, not diabetes. I don't believe high blood pressure, but she had blood clots after the whole COVID thing. So they have her on the Eliquis for that, and she's on something for anxiety.
Okay, I got it. All right, so here's the deal. This is a very simple thing. These are all nutritional deficiencies. The reason why she got COVID was, of course, exposure, but her immune system was not right. And the reason why she's not getting the maximum benefit from her supplementation is that she's been eating gluten. Why do I know she's eating gluten? Because she got COVID. Okay, so she can't say she wasn't eating gluten. No gluten, no wheat, no brown rye, no oats, no fried food, no processed meats, no oils of any kind, no sugar, no carbonated drinks, The diet one's got to go. She can have a rebound sports drink. I wouldn't take it after 4 o'clock because it'll keep her up all night. And I want her to have 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolk, soft boiled, soft yolk, soft poached, soft yolk, soft scrambled. They have to be really liquidy, soft scrambled in butter. Okay. And that's going to give her the stuff she needs to make her brain work properly. Remember, 75% of your brain weight is cholesterol. 95% of your hormones, 95% of the weight and volume of the hormones is cholesterol. So she needs those 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. And then I want her to have 2 healthy brain and heart, somebody's yelling in the background, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want her to have 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 with each meal. That's going to support and promote maintenance repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between a vertebrae, bone makes bone cell. And many of the nutrients in the healthy brain and heart pack, remember, there's 215 nutrients in the healthy brain and heart pack, will prevent the blood clots. Okay. Blood clots are caused by a very specific nutritional deficiency, very, very easily dealt with. Then 5-6, for a lady, I'd like to see her weigh 140, 150, so she's not too much overweight. Just getting rid of all the bad foods, the odds are she'll lose a half a pound of weight per day if she does it correctly. And then I want her to take the hair, skin, and nails, take 2 bottles of that a month, so you can take 3 with each meal. Her hair color will come back. And I think we've covered all of her issues. Vitamin D3, I want her to have vitamin D3. She can take 3 of those twice a day. It's 2 bottles a month. It'll help support absorption of all these minerals, particularly calcium, so she can put them in her bones and so on. And I think that covers the issues. Okay.
All right, thank you. Was there anything you wanted to add, Tammy?
Yeah, so we're taking baby steps. So we started with just the basic pack and some selenium, trying to get her to get started with that. She honestly has trouble keeping things down. Is there specifically, though, she keeps talking about how her muscles are just waiting to atrophy from being laying down so long when she was sick.
Okay, stop. The muscles require 90 essential nutrients. Okay. And I guarantee you, she was eating gluten before she got the COVID. And even if she was supplementing, the efficiency of the absorption was way down. And so she was not getting enough. And so she's getting muscle issues because she wasn't absorbing enough nutrition. Okay. Just because you put it in your mouth doesn't mean you absorb it. It was all going out in the toilet. Okay. And so somebody's got to clean that house. I mean, I've had bets with people. They had to pay me. One doctor, he is a smart aleck. He said, I don't have any gluten in my house. I said, okay. Would you give me $100 for every source of gluten I find in your house? So you're on. I said, let's go right now. He said, no, let's go tomorrow. I said, no, let's go right now. So we went right now. He had to pay me $1,100 because I found 11 sources of gluten. I said, you will be in the newspaper as a liar and a fraud if you don't pay me that $1,100 because you had a handshake bet with me, brother. And so I guarantee you, people either don't know they're eating gluten because they're eating, quote, gluten-free, unquote, oatmeal, there is no such thing. There's gliadin, but it's still gluten. Or they're eating it and they don't pay attention to it because they've been eating all their life. Grandma ate it all her life. Well, grandma ate it all her life, and that was okay because she was using wood ashes in her garden and wood ashes in her food. And she was getting all those nutrients back in those old days. And so a little bit of gluten in those days didn't hurt them that bad. And people lived to be 100 years of age. But once they went to electricity and no more minerals, eating more gluten and less minerals, big trouble. Electricity has killed more people than all the wars in the world put together. Thank you, Thomas Edison.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Wallach, on that. Let's go to the last hand that is up, and that is our beautiful co-host, Ruth Ellen. Ruth Ellen, go ahead and unmute. And what question do you have for Dr. Wallach today?
Hi there,
Hi.
Dr. Wallach.
I know you.
Yes, you do. I have a couple people that are allergic to citrus, so they cannot take the tangy tangerine. What do you recommend? Because I figured our listening audience would want to know.
Okay, the ultimate daily, tablets, I take the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, and I still take the Ultimate Daily tablets as well. And so they can take the Ultimate Daily tablets along with all the other stuff that's in the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, including the EFAs, right? And the collagen peptides. They can take the MSM and so forth. And so there's no excuse not to take all 90 essential nutrients.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
That is what I recommend. Right.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I take the 90 essential nutrients 3 different ways. Okay. I'm 83 years old. Most people think I'm in my 50s when they look at me. They don't believe I'm 83. And it freaks them out. Well, you couldn't have done all that in your life. Well, I'm 83 years old. I'm not on any medication. I've never been on a prescription, but I shouldn't say that. When I fell into that pit some years ago and got infections because I was punctured with rebar and stuff like that. It was in the middle of the night in Canada. We've been walking for years through this place and nobody told us they had dug a pit there and threw all this rebar in there. And I was in the hospital for 3 days with IV antibiotics, but that was it. And all my life, that's all the prescription drugs I ever had, those 3 days of IV antibiotics because of the infections from that rebar puncturing. That was a long time ago. So
Yes,
not bad for 83.
Not bad at all. Thank you for that question, Ruth Ellen. Now, Dr. Wallach, you mentioned the Ultimate Daily. That is different than the Ultimate Daily Classic.
Yes, the Ultimate Daily Classic are little kind of grayish tablets, okay, hard tablets, very tiny, okay, whereas the Ultimate Daily are big yellow ones, okay, they're big and yellow, okay, and they contain an enormous amount of nutrition. I apologize, I don't remember exactly how many. I think it's got all 60 minerals in there, but you still have to take the selenium, you still have to take all that other stuff, the MSM and so on, the EFAs, to get what was in the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. Okay, you can't just take something else. You got to now take all these. Now instead of taking one thing, now you're going to take 18 to make up for something you don't like. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. And I just want to bring, Jonty, did you have something you wanted to add?
I wanted to add Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year, everyone.
and thanks, Doc, for all the information. I plan to party like a rock star and not have a hangover in the morning. So,
all right.
And I'll be up at midnight and I'll be thinking of all of you. Absolutely. And everything that's going to happen in this next year, which is going to be the best year ever for longevity. I predict that now. And
America. And the world.
If other people have different ideas, then they got to come talk to us because we're going to make it happen.
All right,
Yes,
thank
we
you
are.
so much, Anji, and thank you,
Yes.
Nasima. Thank you, Ruth Ellen. Thank you, Rebecca. God bless each and every one of you.
Oh, and God bless you, Dr. Wallach, and all of you that are on here with us today or watching the replay. You can find this program if you want to hear it again at AskDocLive.com. You can find all of the replays from Ask Doc Live
We
program.
should also say Happy New Year to Ted Anderson also.
Oh, yes. Happy New Year, Ted. Happy New Year, MZ. Yes, yes. And well, everybody. Some of us, I mean, some people have already beat us to the new year. Happy New Year to you as well. So, Jonty, since I know you will be up, I will be texting you Happy New Year. But everybody, just have a fabulous and safe New Year's. We want to see you here next Friday also on the Ask Doc Live, and invite your friends. Let's make 2022 the healthiest year yet. And sharing the information that we share in this program is going to help you do that. So again, get back with the person that invited you to this program. And if you have questions, they will have answers on how you can get the products that you need so that you can also achieve optimal health in life. There you go.
In life.
So I like the whole Better by the Minute live. That's like, that's my thing. because it seems like every minute I am just better and better. And it's all because of you, Dr. Wallach, and hearing you on the
Well,
radio.
longevity
for the
team.
first time. We appreciate you and longevity. So
Thank you, Rebecca.
everybody, you're
Love you,
very
dear.
welcome. Love you. Mwah. Love you
Mm.
all.
Happy
Bye-bye.
New Year.
Bye-bye.
Happy
Happy
New
New
Year,
Year.
everyone.
New
Bye-bye.
Year.
Happy New Year.